On to this story now. The National Consumer Commission, several car makers, I should be saying, have issued a critical warning that could impact thousands of drivers across South Africa. A new wave of vehicle recalls is underway, affecting several popular high-end car models, from the Jeep Wrangler and Chrysler 300C to Citroën DS models and luxury brands like Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Volkswagen and Volvo. The concern is potential safety risks linked to manufacturing defects. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo joins us now in studio. Ntokozo, for consumers who already own or are considering buying these recalled vehicles, they would be worried now.
It is a concern, and it's a rather personal story because these are cars that were up for sale or from the 2014 to 2016 period. So it's not just that anxiety of are you safe on the road as you are driving the car, but for a lot of consumers who might have thrown in money into the car, not knowing that it's actually a safety issue or a fault of the manufacturer. I think also that money down the drain, Vuyo, might be something that consumers are, concerned about. But the NCC is the one that did issue these statements, the National Consumer Commission, that's after engaging with these original equipment manufacturers, including your Mercedes-Benz, South Africa, Volkswagen, and so on. So they have allegedly been engaging since last week when it comes to then the manufacturers looking to recall these cars, and then the NCC, of course, made that announcement. And it is safety issues. I did speak to the CEO of Auto Trader.
That's more worrisome than losing money. The fact that
it is
potentially
on the road,
you'll be on the road
safe.
Driving and something could suddenly happen.
You're not
threatening, and God forbid, could even take
your life without knowing that it maybe was a manufacturing fault. So that is why the Commission is then looking to continue to engage with the manufacturers to see how long they've been sitting on this information to make these recalls, or whether they acted immediately. It's been a while since South Africa saw such a recall, and to this extent, I don't recall one that covers so many different manufacturers. I did reach out to, dealers in terms of what would this mean for them as well for business, because what if they've got that stock on the floor? But when I spoke to Auto Trader, they don't buy their own cars or sell their own cars, but they offer that platform. And I did ask about, what does this mean then? Do you sell your car? Do you, if one was considering buying one of these cars, do you not? And I think let's take a listen to what he had to say in that regard.
Consumers firstly have to take recalls very seriously. It can be a safety risk. It doesn't necessarily have to be a safety risk, but it can be a safety risk. But consumers also have a lot of rights under the Consumer Protection Act. And if their car has been recalled, they're entitled to a free repair. So it doesn't have to be a massive safety risk. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't buy those cars that are sitting on dealer showroom floors, because quite often these recalls are repairable. And they're repairable with replacement parts. Manufacturers don't go in and make modifications to the cars quite often. They replace the part that is defective, or they put in a new part or a new system. So once the car is repaired under the recall, then the OEM or the dealer is not going to give you the car back unless it's fully functional and it is up to the standards that South Africa requires.
But I'm still a bit, shall I say, confused here. So many different manufacturers. But is there something that's common about these cars? Do these manufacturers, or did these manufacturers source the same parts from the same people?
That whole consolidation of markets. Well, a lot of the vehicles here are under the Stellantis brand, so quite a few of them were under Stellantis. Mercedes-Benz, I think, had 2 vehicles or 2 models that they're recalling. VW just had the Polo that they are recalling, and then the Citroën. So the main players really is Stellantis, with a few of the vehicles there, and of course Stellantis having just come into the South African market. So we are going to dig a little bit deeper into what has been taking place in that OEM market when it comes to perhaps them sharing those resources or parts or anything like that. But, you know, for vehicles that are so different, it is a concern on how do they all have these similar safety issues all coming from different manufacturers. And I suppose that's what the Commission is looking to engage with the manufacturers on. But the NAMSA will actually be holding a session tomorrow. They're launching their automaker trade manual, and we will then expect to see some of the manufacturers parts of those discussions, and we certainly will pose those questions to them. A lot of them rather shy this afternoon in talking to us, but we are hoping that we get them then tomorrow when that manual is being launched for them to give us some of those answers. We don't know if they will talk, especially if they are still engaging with the Commission on exactly giving a full report on these recalls, Vuyo. But they are advising consumers to, if they have that car, take it in immediately. It doesn't mean that, you know, anything will be removed out of the car. It's really about the manufacturer replacing whatever defective part it is, and then you get your car back. And even if you are considering, as George just told us there, it is about the cars just going back to the manufacturing floor for those parts to be fixed, and then hopefully good to go. But as you said, a lot of questions still to come around this issue of the recall, and, you know, the manufacturer is still very quiet about the recall.
In fact, more questions really than answers, certainly as things stand. Ntokozo Khumalo will, of course, be engaging with some members of the industry tomorrow. Hopefully, they will give us a little bit more clarity, including the questions that Ntokozo raised right from the beginning. What recourse do people have, and how do incidents like these then affect the sale of cars, which is a report we will be getting tomorrow, and Ntokozo will be on that story.